our Torah. This week's Parsha, as we know, is Parshat Noah, and we all know about the flood. The reason for the destruction in the flood was the immorality of the generation. So the question comes up, what was the sin of the Tower of Babel? Why did Hashem punish the people for the Tower of Babel? They were not being immoral. They basically wanted to build a tower to get to heaven. You could say they wanted to be as close to Hashem as possible. They were challenging Hashem in a certain sense. If you read the Parsha very carefully, you see the reason. It says they spoke the same language with the same tongue. Now, if you're speaking the same language, you're using the same tongue, because tongue in Hebrew also means language. So what's going on here? And the answer is they were all united. It was equality from the top down. Everybody was equal. They all said the same thing. They all did the same thing. Everybody was totally equal. And Hashem doesn't want everybody to speak the same thing, doesn't want everybody to think the same thing. He wants you to have free will. Even when you're doing something wrong, it's Hashem's will that you do something wrong. Stop and think about that. Mm-hmm. That Hashem wants us to be independent thinkers. As we all know, all of us who went to yeshiva know, it's very common for guys to argue over something because that's the nature of the human, to argue over something. So he wants us within the correct parameters to disagree, not just to disagree, but agreeably. When the door of the Tower of Babel were not disagreeing agreeably, they were forcing everybody to have their own safe room, and if you disagree with them, you go to your own safe room, you don't get involved. They were against hate speech, they were against, they had speech codes, and all that. Hashem said, that is not what I want. And he forced them to separate. You might say also in the punishment, they all spoke a different language. It's also meaning they all had their own thoughts. They disagreed, they couldn't get along, they moved out to different places. So it's another way of looking at it. Just something to think about for this week's Parsha, Kadosh Rabbanim.